What I want is I want time. I want time with my family. I want to be present not only with my wife and my kids, but I want to be present with my clients.
Yep.
So the reason I have my team, the leverage that I've been able to build allows that to happen. It allows me to be able to have the creative space to not only help coach the agents that are on my team, but to be present with my clients. And most importantly, when I get home, I'm present with my wife and my kids.
You are listening to the 10-4 at R4 podcast, recorded live at RE/MAX R4 2020 from the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. In this episode, we discuss
Building a business
with
Nathan Dart
of
RE/MAX Realty Services
from
Rockville, Maryland.
Now, here are your hosts, Jesse Peters and Michael Thorne.
Welcome to the 10-4 at R4 podcast. I am Michael Thorne of RE/MAX Lifestyles Realty in Langley, BC. And my co-host is
Jesse Peters with RE/MAX Executives from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Now, I'm going to refer to our guest as Nathan Dart, even though every fiber of my body wants to call him Darren. I'm going to refer him to as Nathan Dart. Is that
like his real name?
His real name.
Yeah.
His real name.
Okay.
Now, Nathan, we get a time to chat a lot.
Yes,
You're a
we
good
do.
dude. It's a 10-minute podcast. We're just going to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Building a business.
Yes.
Through real estate, and it's something every agent tries to get. I would imagine tries to get through. Every agent that has a business has to go through the transactional phase.
Sure.
Unless perhaps joining a team now, which is a lot more prevalent in a 2020 real estate industry than it was when I got in the business in the early 90s. What does it mean to have a real estate business and not to be a transactional agent?
Well, it's a mindset shift. You know, with RE/MAX, we're obviously our production level is such that we are great salespeople, but doing just sales alone, it's a grind, and it's gonna cause you to work those 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. And as we continue to progress through our businesses, we're gonna hone our skills, become great salespeople. But at some point, we're gonna want to make a transition. We're gonna make a transition to be business owners. But that is an entire shift in what it is that we do in selling real estate. We have to shift to a leadership mentality. By doing that, we can truly then build a business that's going to support the life that we want to live. By building a business, we create leverage for ourselves, allowing us to do and pursue other things that we may want to do as far as hobbies or spending time with family. So we have to make that transition if we want to build a business to getting out of the sales mindset and how we can start coaching the people on our team to encourage what it is that they do and grow their businesses as well.
So before we kind of jump further into the rabbit hole there, why do you think the real estate industry, majority don't think of their business like a business or more transactional? What is it specifically about?
I think there's two different types of real estate agents. Those that are entrepreneurs and those who don't want a boss. It's the one industry that you can get into and feel like, I control the shots. How long would you stay open as a little florist shop if you actually didn't do the work? Eventually, it would come to an end real quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. I don't think all real estate agents are entrepreneurs. I think the vast majority of RE/MAXers are entrepreneurs.
Yes, they are.
That's how you get to be in that place. But here's one of the things, too, as well, I've seen in my real estate career. I've seen a lot of burnout.
Yes.
And it seems to me the burnout always comes from people that don't know why they're doing what they do. They love, a lot of money. And they go out there and they crush the money, and because they don't have a reason to keep going or to love it, it becomes a grind, and they burn out and they're done. And so one of the things you said too as well is to support the people on your team, to encourage them. That's just not about closing deals. It's so much bigger than that. I think that also has to play a big part in having a business. Is why am I going to work every day? Why am I helping these people? Why am I doing it?
Well, we certainly want to leave a unique and lasting impression on the people that we serve. And we understand the core of our business, the core of our team is based on relationships. People talk about how you grow and scale these big teams through internet advertising, internet lead gen, and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. But what type of impact are you making on the lives of the people that you're serving? That's the critical key there. And we know that we're in the relationship business, and that's why we do what we do. And we want to coach that for our agents as well. We want to teach them how they can make a deeper impact on the families they serve.
Hey, I'm sorry, I just was speaking in the Bomb booth today and talking about an example of a deal that was extremely difficult, and it should have ultimately, or it would have, in a normal situation, probably ended up being, we're going to find another agent. But because we were there with them the whole step of the way, and we were helping them through, and they knew we cared. You know, it took 305 days, and we got the deal done, and they wrote glowing reviews of our team. Because we were there to help them get through that. And those deals, although frustrating, are super, super rewarding. But throughout that entire transaction, I didn't have to worry about, I need this to close today because I need to pay the bills. I just needed it to close for them so that they could get on with their lives. And as a result, I got paid. And Jesse, you started your business recently, and when you started your business, had you married Michelle yet? You were married, not yet, but you were dating.
We were engaged. No, what am I talking about? Harper wasn't born. My daughter wasn't born yet, so we were married when I got out of the advertising industry and went into real estate.
And there is, see, that wasn't my case, and it wasn't Nathan's case either. I mean, I was 19. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have any bills. I didn't have a car payment. I didn't have any of those things. There is a pressure when you get into this industry. The thing about it is when you go to work as a landscaper, the second Friday you get paid. You might go to work as a real estate agent, you know, and not have training or not have that and not know when that first, if you sell a house the very first day you're an agent, you're still not getting that paycheck for 2-3 months.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's terrifying, actually, especially early on. Like, and I'm first generation realtor.
Yeah.
No parents, no aunts and uncles, nobody.
Well, we say how terrifying it is, but if we ask the three of us right now, would we ever want to be in any other business?
No.
There's no question. But what's unique is when
because
we
I have a business.
That's right. And that's
Exactly.
the difference, because that's the transition of becoming a salesperson to becoming a business owner. When I'm looking at myself and I look at my business for 2020, I can already forecast what I'm making 90 days in advance.
Yes.
It's because I've put the tools, the systems in place to know and ensure that I can make that in 90 days. When I'm a salesperson just grinding out in the trenches, I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly.
When I built a business, I can forecast exactly where my leads are going to come from and what's going to be closing.
Okay, what's the key? What's the hump? How do you, is it putting the client first, and how does one?
It's a transition. You have to come from a people-dependent business to a system-dependent business. Once you make that transitional shift, that's when we become a business person.
Yeah.
Because if they're relying on us as an individual for everything to get taken care of rather than the systems or the teams, we will never find a way out of the trench. And that's the key.
One of the amazing things about the shift in our industry is the team model, is in the team structure. If I were to start out now and be 30 years old with a wife and one kid, I would go straight to a really awesome, systemized, ethical team and learn the business. And if it was the right fit, I'd stay.
Well, absolutely. And coming to understand, like, how do you join a team going down that direction? A lot of people are misled by how they should join a team or what team they should join based on, will this team leader provide leads for us?
Yeah.
If you are just joining a team just so they're providing you leads, that's a huge disservice. You need to run as fast as you can away from that type of opportunity. The teams that you need to consider is who's going to be able to prop you up, who's going to help coach you to build a business that supports the life that you want to live for yourself, for your families as you choose, teaching you the systems, the tools, having the backup, the accountability, the coaching to help you become successful, teaching you how to fish, in a sense, rather than just having it all given to you.
For the people outside the industry, I think that's what a broker that's the impression of what the broker does for us. And I love my brokers. I think brokers do an amazing thing, and thank goodness they provide it. But the team leader has sort of filled in what we would assume is the broker's job, is to teach you those systems, give you the mentoring, get you the marketing, get you this the scripts and everything you need to know to have a business. The most successful businesses are built that way.
And I have these conversations with agents in my city, whether it's, setting up your back end like a business, becoming incorporated and all those other things. Because you begin to say, if you did any other business, if you were a mechanic or selling food or a florist, would you build the business this way? If you were slammed, would you still just do everything? No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You would say, no problem. I need a receptionist. I need an accountant. I need this. Why do we hold on to trying to do everything ourselves in this industry? Because they automatically said, oh yeah, I'd have this as this. I'm like, Well, then why aren't you doing it with yours? Because you are a business.
Well, it's ego. Yeah, it's ego. We're not willing to let that go. And the faster we find a way to let that go.
Do you think it's ego, or do you think it's more, I want all the money?
What's the difference?
Oh, good point. Good point.
What
They are often.
What I want is I want time. I want time with my family. I want to be present not only with my wife and my kids, but I want to be present with my clients.
Yep.
So the reason I have my team, the leverage that I've been able to build allows that to happen. It allows me to be able to have the creative space to not only help coach the agents that are on my team, but to be present with my clients. And most importantly, when I get home, I'm present with my wife and my kids.
Now it's time for the R4 Rapid 4.
Before the podcast started, Nathan, we asked you to roll the dice 4 times. You just did it. Didn't ask any questions. Just roll the dice.
I can trust you guys. Can I not?
No, you can't. Well, we're about to find out. In Jesse Peters' hands, he's holding a list of 10 questions of silly, nonsensical questions, and to which he's going to ask you. Nathan's first roll of the dice, Jesse, was a 7.
Oh, this is my favorite. How long would you last in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, I think I last. I think I'm fairly well prepared.
What do you think your role would morph into in the apocalypse?
You know, and I'd probably have to find a leadership position of a tribe. You know, and we'll make
straight to management.
Yeah, I'll go straight to leadership. No, we don't do management. We surpass management. We go straight to leadership. Yeah, no, that's the only way I'd have to build that tribe.
Yeah, you can do that. All right.
Yep.
He stands behind the fence and says, "You go."
Yeah,
you go.
With a bat.
Number 2.
Listen to this one now. Cent, C-E-N-T, and cent, S-E-N-T. In cent, S-C-E-N-T, is the S or the C silent?
This is totally tripping me up to see. Yeah.
I'm still so proud. And I've said this before. That my boy wrote that silly question for this podcast, and I'm so proud of him. It's a good
for him.
It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, it's totally bizarre. I'm trying to still follow it. I'm just
3 words sounding exactly the same, spelled 3 different ways.
The English language is amazing. Number 1.
Would you rather have noisy neighbors or nosy neighbors?
Ooh, good. Did your son make this?
No.
No. I think I would rather have nosy neighbors rather than noisy neighbors, because I can ignore the nosiness.
Just block them out.
Yep.
A lot of people have said noisy. Just put on noise canceling headphones.
I wonder, on what degree of nosy.
Well, there's always different levels, but
Exactly.
but if I choose not to listen, if I choose not to participate, then they're not relevant, right?
Number 3.
What is the weirdest thing you have seen in someone else's home?
You've had a long career, Nathan Dart.
Oh my God, I can say this on the radio now, right? We're in a podcast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's even safer on a podcast.
I went up into a room that the client of mine insisted that I go up into her master bedroom to help her move some carpet or something she had. And she wanted to show me a full life-size naked photo of herself before I went downstairs. I don't know what she was trying to lead that into, but that was definitely a unique situation I put myself in. Yeah. I said, well, it's very nice, but I think for staging purposes, we want to make sure that we appeal to everybody.
Focused.
And I'm not sure that this is the best thing we need to do for staging.
They call that depersonalizing.
Yes. It was personal. It was definitely personal.
That brings us to the end of this episode of the 10-4 at R4 podcast with our guest, Nathan Dart. Thanks for joining us. My co-host is the versatile
Very.
Jesse Peters. And I'm Michael Thorne. We'll see you in the next one. Over.
Excellent, guys.
Out.
That's this week's episode of the 10-4 at R4 podcast with your hosts Jesse Peters and Michael Thorne. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode. Thank you for watching.